Gospel and homily for the 16th Sunday in Ordinary Time. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus came to a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. She had a sister called Mary, who sat down at the Lord's feet and listened to him speaking. Now Martha, who was distracted with all the serving, said, "Lord, do you not care that my sister is leaving me to do the serving all by myself? Please tell her to help me." But the Lord answered, "Martha, Martha, you worry and fret about so many things, and yet few are needed, indeed only one. It is Mary who has chosen the better part, and it is not to be taken from her." The Gospel of the Lord. Last week we had the feast of Saint Benedict, who is the patron of Europe. Now, there's a story about him. While journeying on horseback one day, Saint Benedict met a peasant walking along the road. "You've got an easy job," said the peasant. "If I was a man of prayer like you, then I too would be traveling on horseback." "You'd think praying is easy," replied Saint Benedict. "If you can say one Our Father without any distractions, you can have my horse." "It's a bargain," said the surprised peasant. Closing his eyes and folding his hands, he began to say the Our Father out loud. "Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come." Suddenly, he stopped short and looked up and said, "Can I have the saddle and bridle too?" Distractions don't just apply to prayer, but our minds can be preoccupied by so much trivia that reflecting on the deeper questions of life don't get a look in. I always feel that Mary and Martha's home was a place where Jesus could get away from it all, put his feet up, and rest his weary bones for a few hours. The Bible tells us that Jesus loved Mary and Martha and their brother Lazarus. Maybe that was because they gave him space to unwind. Since holiday time is here, I'm sure today's gospel was chosen for this very reason. But even whilst on break, some people are forever on the tear. The Gospel tells us that Mary sat down at the Lord's feet. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone, wrote the French philosopher Blaise Pascal. Can we at least put down our electronic devices, our phones, our brain-numbing activities for a few minutes, and just try and sit quietly alone somewhere? We're told that the Sheffield, which we're in now, is quite a polluted city with high levels of carbon dioxide, but there's also another kind of pollution. It's the constant noise and din around us, the pollution of noise. I was shopping in a big Tesco store recently, and the music being played over the loudspeaker was so loud it was bordering on the uncomfortable. And when you ring up these days for something, some of these big companies, they keep you waiting for ages, and they play music. Now, we didn't ring up to fill every available space. We didn't ring up to listen to music. We rang up to get an answer to our question. I'm sure when historians settle on a phrase to describe our period of history, they'll call it the age of distractions. On the standard supermarket shelf, instead of there being one or two of everything, we're spoilt for choice, which can tire us out as well. Variety may be the spice of life, but it can also deaden our spirits. It means we have neither the time nor the inclination to raise our minds to God and the transcendent. Even Sunday rest seems the exception these days. The saying, "no rest for the wicked," is indeed believable. The author of Psalm 23 describes how God is asking him to sit by the restful waters in order to revive his drooping spirit. Jesus has a very gentle word with Martha when he sees her tied up with all the serving. Yes, we all need food to survive, even Jesus did, but it should not take precedence over nourishing our spirit. Man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. Listening to Jesus then and his words of wisdom was quality time for Mary. Reflecting on his life-giving words will revive our drooping spirits as well. Thank you for listening, and God bless you all.